Camden in the Youth Cup final is 7:30. We'll cross live there to hear from both managers later in the programme. But time now to focus on our special guest this evening, the former Celtic and Scotland midfielder Paul McStay. Before we get to looking back on your career, Paul, there's a tweet in here I just want to put to you from Celtic First, saying it would be poignant to ask Paul about the game against Liverpool post Hillsborough in light of the verdict that it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was just watching the TV footage yesterday brought back a lot of memories of that period. The game was a very emotional day, and I think it probably helped a little bit of the healing for Liverpool players, staff, and also the fans. I think I'm just happy that they've got what they needed really, and what they deserved is that justice for their families and everybody involved.
Do you think at a moment like that game, which could be seen as a kind of minor thing obviously in light of everything, but do you think it maybe exacerbated that sense that football fans, football as a community, rally round each other at a time like that?
Yeah, I think there's been numerous occasions over the years where disasters have happened and that community gets together. And I think that's the great thing about football and sport in general as well, that it does pull people together to help and support in difficult times like that.
Let's concentrate then on your career, Paul. Was it the first time you really came under the public eye when you played for Scotland Youths against England at Wembley?
Yeah, it was the schoolboy game. That was a very memorable day. No, I think I'd experienced going there before as a fan to watch Scotland schoolboys. I think it was when my brother Willie played a few years before. And we went with the attitude with the Lion Rampants, away at the game, thinking, here we go, because I had visions of the old days, with Scotland fans going down there and bring back the goalposts, that type of thing, and I always thought that's the way it would be. So we went into Wembley as fans, and there was about 80,000 England fans and about 2 busloads of us, so I think I knew what we were getting into as a player. And when we went to Wembley that time, 1-5-4, and just boys went there with a lot of confidence. We'd already won a sort of European trophy the year before when we went to France, under 14 level, so most of the boys were there. So you see that level, great experience we had, and we went and
just won the game. Who was in that team alongside you?
Ali Dick was there. We went to Tottenham, and Johnny Sludden, and one of probably the guys who went on to full international as well, John Robertson. John was in that team as well, and a lot of happy days together. Come through the sort of schoolboy youth system as well. But that day was live on the national TV, so we managed to pull it off, and people remember it, I think, because it was one of the few schoolboy games on at that particular game. But not just, it wasn't any game really. 5-4, well, on occasion.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel the sense of having to live up to the surname because of your family's association with Celtic? Previous, I think it was uncles and grandfathers had captained the club. Was there ever a sense of, I've got a name to live up to, even at that stage?
Not at all, no. Never entered my mind. What it gave us that sort of that tradition of getting brought up as a Celtic fan and going to the games and understanding that your great uncles had been there before. So to me, there was no pressure at all. I never felt any pressure.
Talk to us about your Celtic debut.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Billy was sort of wondering when to give me my opportunity. I think I played midweek in a friendly game against Kilmarnock, so because the weather was bad then, but managed to get my full debut in a Scottish Cup game, the Queen of the South. But I think the league debut was the one that sort of stands out, with managed to score a goal against Aberdeen. But again, the build up, you're young, no fear, just want your opportunity, and went out that day with a team of really experienced pros, international players, and they helped and guided me through that match. Yeah.
Was there a particular player at that time and in your formative years at Celtic who you might have looked upon as a mentor, or someone who maybe took you under their wing a little bit?
Yeah, I think the whole squad was really good that way. Tommy Burns, being a midfield player, was very close to us and helped and guide not just myself, any young player that came in, but I think the squad at that time, good people, great pros, and were very willing to give you that advice and guidance, and that's something I tried to take through my career as well, knowing and understanding what happened to me, that any young player coming in, you try to do the same with them.
You established yourself as a first team regular the following season, and you picked up your first silverware, beating Rangers in the League Cup final.
Yeah, it was a good day, that. Yeah, I think I think I've mentioned sort of the early days, Championship, winning the cup, that type of thing. I think when you look back, and any advice to players nowadays is that if you've got that chance of success, savour it, because you never know when things can tail off. And it was a great start for my career, and went on to win other things as well. But I think every occasion you've got to savour and enjoy it.
What help was there for a youngster? You broke through so quickly, you made such a massive impact. How difficult was it coping with everything?
Very difficult. I think Celtic tried from the point of view of give you some guidance, but I think in those days you're sort of left to your own devices a little bit. And even from the point of view of media training, never received any media training or guidance that way. You had to learn and make mistakes along the way, and I'm still making them. It's not my forte, but I think things have improved greatly for young players coming in now. I believe there is media training from the point of view of thinking about after the game as well. Nobody really said to you what you're going to do after the game, so I think nowadays they've got it in place, either coaching badges, but I think there's so many coaching positions that players can go into, so you've got to look at alternative careers after you're finished playing.
How did you find being in the limelight and having that profile as a Celtic player and going on to be a Celtic captain? Were you comfortable with that, or did you find that aspect of it sort of difficult to handle, the off the field stuff and the attention and that kind of thing?
I knew what my responsibility was as a Celtic player first and foremost, but as captain as well, you had added responsibility, and I enjoyed that. I loved connecting with the fans and try to be there for them, and I mean, good times, bad times, I think you had to handle it the same way. You couldn't go and hide, so for supporter stances and that, I think that was part of it. You had to still go and connect with them, and because they're there week in, week out for you, and so for me, I really enjoyed that part of my career. Yeah,
it's probably something that doesn't happen so much anymore. That notion of players going to end of season supporters club dances and things like that. But back in your day, that was the common thing. A club representative would probably always go. I'm not sure that really happens so much anymore. Maybe that connection's not there anymore.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Celtic always try to have that in place. And there was a dance recently, the Paul McStay club in Stirling, and Chris Commons and Craig Gordon were there. So I think there's still that connection, and basically that club, fantastic club, that's about 30 odd years or something like that. I think they've been going, and basically they were there raising money for charity. So I think the clubs, I can't speak for any other club, but I know Celtic still trying to encourage the players to connect with the fans. Yeah.
In terms of advice and help for a youngster, I believe some credit is due to our Chick on this one. He was very helpful to you in your early years.
Yeah, nearly went off the rails with him. Yeah, so,
what not to do?
Yeah, I've known Chick for many years, and I've mentioned this. Sort of, you set up Scotland and built up a friendship with Chick, and no, he's different class. No, good fun to be with him.
Steady now, steady.
All right, okay, yeah.
I have to say that we go back and listen to you asking the questions there, Kenny, and Richard, it's it was a different time. It was an absolute different time. It's hard to explain to people who weren't about in their side of the business or Paul's side of the business at that time. And the first time I saw Paul play football, I think, was with the Scotland youth team. I used to go away. I worked for the Glasgow Evening Times, and but for some reason I managed to go away every year with the team. I always seemed to qualify for the finals in 1982 in Finland. Was Paul? Scotland won the tournament, and Andy Roxburgh, Walter Smith in charge of the side, and Paul was just an absolute standout. Pat Nevin was fantastic in that team as well. On to Mexico the next year, and whatever else, Paul McStay is one of the finest football players I've ever seen. He reminds my childhood hero was the great John White, an old-fashioned inside right, and Paul, it was up there, if not eclipsing even John White, and just without embarrassing him now, just a lovely lad from a fantastic family, and I could see that, he was bouting for the stars, and then we got together in some kind of commercial make. I don't know whether I should call myself his agent, but we set off to try and make some money, and that we did. In fact, I'm sure you still owe me money, actually, Paul. I think over the years it's amounted up, but and it was great fun, and I just think, I didn't try to persuade him. I tried to explain there are opportunities to go abroad and play, and Billy McNeil, who was fantastic to both of us, I think, had other ideas. He said that Paul was Celtic through and through, and that's where he would stay. And I just tried to explain at the time he could go away, play in Italy for 4 or 5 years, come back a very rich lad, and still continue to come back and play for Celtic. It didn't work out that way. I find it ironical that he's now going to live in Australia, where I couldn't get him out of Lark Hall at one point. But whatever else, Paul McStay is one of the finest football players I've ever seen wear a Scotland jersey. And I remember Paul, I'm struggling to remember the game here at Hampden. I was sitting not far from where I'm sitting now. You rattled in a magnificent goal at the Mountford end, and I just could see the money rattling up. There's another couple of zeros on his value. We'll be making a fortune. Early on, I think you were only 18 or something then?
I think that was the Iceland game, Chick.
Iceland, I was going to say, yeah. And what age were you then?
That's 20, I think. Roughly, yeah, about then, yeah.
Past it by then. But I wonder if, do you ever regret not, when you see players like Murdo who'd gone to Germany, Eric Black who'd gone to France, contemporary Eric and Ray Stephen who went to France as well, if you remember, contemporaries of yours who went abroad. Did you ever wonder that maybe in retrospect it might be nice if we go even in England?
Yeah, well, I think 92 was probably that opportunity, and I think I said at the time I'd look at what the options were, and that's what I did, and I felt the time with what was available and family circumstances at that time, and what Celtic was saying to me, Liam Brady and the board at that time, that things were looking good. So basically I signed a contract at Celtic, and as Anne-Marie, my wife, said, no, just make sure you've no regrets, and I have no regrets, Chick, at all.
No, I remember actually, we were conjuring up an offer from Fiorentina or something about 90. And what I remember is you and I talked a long time at Christmas one year. I remember it was getting near Christmas, and we talked, and you said, I don't know what I wanted to do.
Chick, this is all for the book, man. Come on.
Yours or mine?
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
I need to rewrite a chapter now.
And I said to you, at least don't do anything till the end of the season. And we agreed that was the case. And about 3 days later, I think you walked into the office and Big Billy had against you. Oh, said you're a Celtic man through and through, and you just you were
Billy
petrified.
could be quite persuasive.
Yes, he could. I remember. I said, wait till the end of the season, but Big Billy had you and said, I mean, they were great times, and we both adored Billy McNeil. He's one of the finest gentlemen I've ever met.
Fantastic man and a great mentor to myself, and very grateful for what he did for me in my career. Yeah.
James Patrick on Twitter, can you ask Paul, was it true Udinese wanted to sign you to play alongside Zico?
I think that's been documented for that time, that Udinese came in, but that was sort of after I shook hands with Celtic. Yeah.
Were you close to leaving at any point?
Yeah, there was options there. I think it was a director at Celtic said there was no offers on the table at the time, but that may have been the case. I can't speak for that director, but there was basically, I know working with Liam, we spoke to people, and I spoke to people on my own as well, managers, coaches as well. So basically, again, I think that's one of the reasons I mentioned the book there, and that's one of the things I want to relay through the book. It's not just about the facts on the table and how my career and life went, and hopefully I can answer a lot of the questions through that.
There wasn't a part of you, I mean, you obviously weighed up the options and you made the decision that you were comfortable with, and you have no regrets, but there wasn't a part of you at that time that wanted to test yourself abroad, to go and see what you would be like over there, what it would be like to play in a different country at a different level.
Very much so. I think that's why I said I'll look at my options, and the sort of throwing the jersey into the jungle then was to say I might not be coming back next season, and because the thought of going and playing abroad or down south did capture my imagination. Yeah, but what I always said was that there had to be the proper option and package there, and more importantly the club and that environment that would entice me away from, I've always said, one of the greatest football clubs in the world, a place where I was very happy playing my football.
Did Celtic take the price of that jersey off your wages that particular week?
Yeah, and that's okay, the guy threw it back, no problem.
do you feel let down at all by the club, Paul? There's someone texting in here, for years Paul McStay's loyalty was used and abused by the biscuit tin board.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think I loved being there. It's my decision to sign with Celtic. Loved being there, and I think one of the things is, no, you talk about regrets. Yeah, I signed the contract based on information given to me by the board and the manager about how things would move forward. But I'd signed a contract, and I was there to make sure that I fulfilled that contract. And if things aren't going that well, I don't think you walk away from things. I think you stay there, you dig in, and you give it 100%, and that's what I did through that period after my contract.
Having come into the team and obviously won things at an early age and been part of an iconic Celtic team in the centenary year, How difficult was it for you to then sort of be playing in those days when Rangers had sort of established their sort of dominance for a spell and Celtic were going through some difficult times? How hard was that for you as a player, but also someone who had the club at heart?
Yeah, Rangers are fantastic teams through that period, absolutely fantastic, and it was always a challenge. So, I mean, from a point of view of testing yourself, you had the opportunity to do that against a very good Rangers team. So for me, again, a lot to do with what's within you as well. Although I think you want to do the best for the team, for the fans, but I think as a personal challenge, it's what you got within to go and rise and keep playing and try to perform at the highest level, even if things round about aren't from the sort of 94, the sort of troubled years sort of thing. But I think it's a personal challenge then as well, more than anything, mental challenge to try to drive yourself through that period.
How big a challenge was it when you to be captain of the club? You were named captain when Roy Aitken left in 1990. Any doubts at all about taking that position on?
Absolutely no doubts at all. I think a great honour to be offered the job to captain a club like Celtic, and it was something I was not going to refuse. It was a very difficult time, and again, very young squad at that time, I think, as well, because a lot of experienced players moved on. But for me, it's like being selected for your club team or Scotland, or being given the captaincy for your national side or club side. It's up to the manager, and if they feel you're capable of handling that, you take it on board. Now, what happens down the line is, if they feel you're not doing a good job, well, they would take it away from you. So from my point of view, I must have been doing something right, either from point of view of on the park, leading by example, or off the park, being that sort of ambassador for the club as well. So from my point of view, whatever I was doing at Celtic at that time through various managers, it seemed to sit well with him.
I mean, I'm not sure if this record has been eclipsed or not, but certainly there was a time when nobody had played more Old Firm games than you. What were those matches like, and is there one sort of performance from yourself that stands out in your memory, a kind of favourite memory of an Old Firm game? Or
I think I've been asked about that since I've retired a few times, and I think the one I always go back to, Richard, is the match in '88, the game at Ibrox, and I scored with the left foot. I think scoring against Rangers is always good. You always savour that moment, obviously, but I think the importance of that game being the one that sort of got us closer to that title. I think that was, and again, going to Ibrox and winning was always a very difficult thing. So to come away from there with all the points, I think that's a very memorable day. Yeah.
I mean, you're always kind of known for having a very sort of cool and calm demeanour on the pitch, but in those games, were you as wound up as say a Peter Grant, but maybe it just didn't show as much? Was that the?
Maybe ask Stuart that one. I don't know. It was just I think they're. I don't know. It's just a big occasion, and you've got to get. No matter how many games you've played throughout your career, if a Rangers game come up, you know that you have to be top of form mentally and physically, and also first of all try to get control of the game as well. But to me, the fantastic occasions, but if you're not getting into those games mentally, physically prepared, well, I don't think it'll go your way.
We'll talk about the book in just a couple of minutes. Let's rattle through some quick fire questions with you. Best manager played under?
Tough question. Mentor, Billy McNeil, and then latterly Tommy Burns, fantastic manager as well.
Best player played with?
I've got to say my idol, Kenneth Dalglish.
Best player played against?
Johan Cruyff.
Biggest high in the game?
High in the game? I think Centenary year was a great year, yeah.
Biggest disappointment?
Wraith Rovers game.
Best goal you've scored?
I like the one at Ibrox, but Scotland game, the one the chick mentioned, Iceland, I enjoyed that one.
Biggest managerial rant you've ever witnessed? Who delivered it?
Oh dear, quite a few of them. Davy Hay was always good for a rant.
Was it?
And that was before the game, no?
Biggest moaner you played alongside?
Oh, quite a few of them. Oh my goodness. I think that's part of the game. TV was quite good at that as well.
Yeah, I've heard that. The best training ground bust-up you've seen or been involved in?
I've seen a few. Probably one where Mick McCarthy chased Granty round about the training pitch. That was fun.
Was Granty's bark worse than his bite?
Granty was good teammate, good in the park, but no, he could certainly snarl in the park, yeah.
Tell us then about the book, how you found the experience of that, and is everything in there?
Yeah, there'll be a few good stories in there, although Chick's given quite a few away tonight. But I think the whole aspect of...
Not them all.
I'm nearly 52. Just looking back in my life, my career, I thought it was time. I've been asked a few times to write a book and reflect, and I felt there was a story to tell. Maybe it's a line in the sand for myself as well, allow me to move on. But I think there'll be a few things of interest which people don't know about, and I think that's important as well. And there's also things that's out there which I feel maybe are not factual about what happened through my career and maybe how it ended, that type of thing. So I'll hopefully put some facts there as well. But again, we've got a camp. I'm doing a sort of roundabout way. I'm doing the marketing now. The book's getting written. We're doing rather well that way, so we're nearly finished. But it's through Kickstarter, and basically I'm self-publishing. Try to use my business skills, and I've published magazines and that before, so really it's not going in for the coal, but I just thought it was a nice way to make it more personal, using the new modern platform, Kickstarter, crowdfunding, allow me to self-publish it, keep a little bit of control of how it's all done, and try and incentivise fans with things that wouldn't happen normally through a book publication, like signed shirts and different things like that. So people have queried why I'm doing it. I just feel it's where I am in the business world and what I've learned, and I thought it would be an interesting way to go about it, and hopefully there is that support to help it move forward. Yeah.
I mean, the normal path is obviously someone gets an author or a writer to ghostwrite it or whatever. Was it important to you to sort of be involved in that process and be at the heart of it?
Very much so. I understand where the expertise are required, Richard, and this book will be delivered by people involved, editing, make sure the professional writing services are there. It will be delivered in a really professional way. But for me, if I'm writing my story, yeah, I do want to be in amongst it and delivering my thoughts, and if people want to make it look good and make sure it's delivered in the right way, that will happen.
I mean, you live out in Australia now, you're reflecting on your career at Celtic. You said it might be a line in the sand. When you're living out there, is it an entirely different life for Paul McStay out there than it would be here, or do you still get that sort of connection with fans, people still speaking to you, asking you about your career? What's it like over there compared to what it would be like here for you?
Yeah, you still get interest. You meet a lot of expats or local Australians through the football, grassroots football, who get to know who you are. But since coming back, Richard, I've found it pretty intense over here, to tell you the truth. Which I know a lot's happened. That's about 6 years I've been away now. But yeah, I have found it different. Been over there, then come back into the sort of the intense, I don't know, media coverage and everything that's going on.
Do you prefer being outside the bubble?
I must say I've really enjoyed my life over there.
Well, let's put a question here, because Silver Fox has got in touch to say, could you ask Paul who he'd like to see take the manager's job?
Oh, good question. David Moyes looks the favourite.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much indeed, Paul, for coming in tonight, and good luck with the book Maestro, and that'll be out very soon. Thanks very much indeed to...
My lawyers are watching.
I'm looking forward to a few chapters in there.
Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland. There is no substitute.
As Motherwell are seeing this one out against the Hearts side, who've been well beaten on the night. Full-time whistle goes at Hampden Park. It's celebration for Motherwell. It's the first time they'll ever lift the Scottish Youth Cup final trophy. It's the 33rd running of this competition. The substitutes come running on. The players are together, they're celebrating. Wonderful scenes for Motherwell. Goals from Mackin, an own goal from Bauer. Ferguson, Leach and Faulkner were enough for Motherwell tonight. McGee and Zanata for Hearts. For the Youth Cup final of 2016 ends with a scoreline. Hearts 2, Motherwell 5. It's the Motherwell players who start up the steps down below us. And up on a happy note up those steps. There's 17 stairs going up there. Chris Cannon, the captain, leading the charge. What a night he had. He's such a good player. Driving force, he comes over, gets the handshakes from all in the official party. Little pat on the back, he gets the medal from Stuart McCall. The handshake, the trophy with many names engraved upon it, and Motherwell's will be added to that list for the very first time. The 33rd running of this competition.
Stephen, that was, I tell you, from the first instance, as a neutral, fantastic entertainment.
Well, it's the one thing you get from watching under-20 football. Sometimes it's like a basketball game. You know, teams are so open and so expansive, and I don't know if they mean to be, but sometimes they are. And I was asked a couple of questions the other day about what would win the game, and I felt the defensive side of the game would win it, because both teams normally play so open. So whichever team can defend the best and can limit them to chances will probably win the game, and we probably done that. I felt in general play the first half I thought they were better than us. I just felt that's my view. I'd have to watch it back. I might change that, but I certainly felt they moved the ball better, they found space better, we played awfully deep, and we had to try and change that at half time. I felt we played a little bit higher second half, and we got our rewards.
I mean, you're watching yourself, actually, the energy you went through. I think there was only one point you left the threshold of the pitch to go up to make a change.
Yeah.
And then actually, you changed the change, I think, as well.
It's an emotional game. In the first half I was calm because I knew we were still quite away from the final whistle when we were in front. But as the minutes tick on and you get yourself 3-2 and you go 4-2, you start to think about glory and you start to think about all the stuff, so you get more animated. The players are probably looking at the sideline and thinking I'm an absolute madman. Well, I am, but it's worth it when you see them celebrating. You know, you try and kick every ball, you get frustrated, you get on edge, you can sense they're close to something special. This club's never won this competition before, so a little bit of history.
Terrific performances, Carrion and Thomas particularly.
Well, again, we asked our bigger players to go and show what they can do. Ben plays in the first team, Dom's around the first team, Chris is around the first team, and they wanted to play. That's their friends, that's their mates. Check, they've been with them for the last 3 or 4 years, coming through the academy, some of them coming through the 20s. They're a close-knit group. So for them to come out and perform the way they did, it showed to me their first team players playing under 20 football. I mean, you get that, you've got a chance of winning games.
You know, we all love this game. You just see, I come down here and I've been privileged over the years to be trackside. I mean, some of the young Hearts boys are in tears there, and you forget what it means to them.
I tried to tell them before the game that's what we don't want. You know, you can warn them as much as you want, you can give them as much information. There's the risk that could happen to us, and I think we worked ever so hard to get here. We had a little chat this afternoon about how much we've progressed and how much we've moved on. I think I spoke pre-match about it, but just trying to reiterate that to them pre-match of what it means and how close you are to something different. So it's heartbreaking. Listen, you know, John's a young coach like myself. We're still trying to make our way in the game. It's heartbreaking, but unfortunately I'm glad it's them and not us.
Yeah, I understand that. And of course, you come over this side the divide and you see these boys and what it means to them, you know, and you forget young lads and all that. It's just to give, I don't know, just encourages about the spirit for the game and the way we all love the game again.
Well, I said to you pre-match again, they inspire me every day in training.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, they inspired me tonight, and you can see they make mistakes, they give the ball away, they make bad decisions, I go crazy. But when they do it right, they're a good side, and they're good to watch. And you know, 2-1, we could have crumbled. 3-2, when they came back into the game and we were quite dominant, we could have went. But we go 4-2, we go 5-2. Robbie Leach coming off the bench. Yeah, listen, Robbie was hard done by. It was so close between him and David. I could have went either way. I decided to go with David because I felt he could maybe hold the ball a little bit better. But Robbie's pace and energy would affect the game later on. It isn't very often a game plan works, but tonight it did.
And just finally, do we expect these guys? And this is the problem age now, isn't it? You get players coming through, look terrific, and then they've got to make that next step. Yeah. That's the big one.
Well, I think you can guide them so far, and then they have to make that leap. They have to make that step. They have to take belief from what they've done tonight, how they played, how they went about their business, and realise they're closer to the first team than what they think. At a small club like Motherwell, when you don't have a lot of money and you don't go with a big squad, a lot of these players are closer to the first team than what they think. They've got to make a conscious decision. I want to move on. Tonight was hopefully going to whet their appetite of what could be potentially ahead for them. Now that's happened. Now I expect a big response over the next 4 or 5 months, and I want to see more of these guys pushing towards Mark's first team.
Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland. There is no substitute.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Don't forget you can receive all the sports news in our daily bulletins on Radio Scotland and at our website bbc.co.uk/sportscotland.
The Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Radio Scotland.
This is an audio download about Scottish football from BBC Scotland. I'm Kenny McIntyre. For terms and conditions of use, please go to our website bbc.co.uk/sportscotland.